Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the ballistic knife that I showed in my last video. Like I said, I got the idea from a few other dudes, so I don't want to take credit for anything here. First off, what you're going to need is a pen like this, no spring in it, so you can take all this apart, if you see what I mean, and take the pen out, but you want to keep this little bottom cap on. Next thing you'll need is a pencil, just a mechanical pencil, and you're going to need this. This is going to be vital for your blade. And then you'll need a clicker pen, so you can get a nice spring, and that's what's going to launch your blade out of the ballistic knife. Also, you're going to need something to cut with. I unfortunately only have this little saw. It's kind of crappy, but it works. If you have anything better, that'll definitely cut through a pen, because you're going to need to cut this. Definitely try to use something better than this. After that, you're going to need a little bit of tape, so I'm using this electric tape here, and a ruler. Also, you may need a pencil for some marking, so you know where to cut and stuff. Could be useful. Alright, once you emptied out the pen, should look like this. Not exactly if you have a different pen. Luckily you can see through this one. You want to keep this little bottom cap on right there. It's pretty important. You also, on your mechanical pencil, you want to take off the cap. I already loosened it, that's why it was pretty easy. Empty out the lead. The lead's all emptied out. You want to probably have a scissor if you have them. Sorry, I forgot to mention that in the materials. You want to cut this, or if there's an easier way to break it, that's good too. There's a spring in here. You don't need that spring, it's too small. This, you can just get rid of this, shoot spit watch with it, or whatever you guys do. And then this is what's going to hold your blade. You can get rid of the eraser too. After that, you're going to need probably 2 springs for this, depending on the size. If it's really small, you're going to need just 1. If it's bigger, you'll need 2. Bigger, you need 3. And more springs, the more length you get when you launch the blade. Alright, for this part, you're going to need a ruler now. And I'm going to take different cuts, of course, because this might take a while. Going to measure with the ruler how long it is. Gonna take your pencil, and depending on the size that you want, you're gonna mark it where you want. So let's say I want one that's 2 inches long. Gonna put a mark at the 2 inch. I don't know if you can see that, but that's where I'm gonna cut to make the blade holder thing. I don't know what you call it. Now that you have that, you're going to take your blade, whatever it is, your saw I mean, or whatever you're using really, and you're going to start making a nice cut right there. And hopefully you have a better blade than me for this. This is nonsense. I'm going to go ahead and take a new clip so that you guys can just see what it looks like when it's over. Alright, I finished the cutting, and because I don't have a very good cutting tool, it came out kind of like this. It's a little rough around the edges there. Again, you want to keep this little cap. I definitely need that, the bottom. Next, you're going to need your mechanical pencil that you took apart, and you're going to cut this. What you need to do to cut this is you look at the size of your launcher that you're gonna use, and you can see this one's only 2 inches. It's a lot smaller than the first one I made. That's for the sake of time though. You're gonna see where you need to cut based on the size of the pen holder to the pencil. So right now we need to cut, I'd say, probably about 3/4 of the way down. So like right here. And this is going to be a very important part. So I'm going to go ahead and cut and then show you what it looks like when it's done. Alright, so you get your pen cut and you have the pencil cut. Now you're going to see how far it fits down. And that's what it's going to basically look like in the end, is blade going into the thing. It's going to look more like this though. Depending on how far you want it to go. I don't really want mine to go that far, so I'll just put 1 spring for now. Put a spring in there. You're just going to push it down, and then going to make a cut right here in a second, and you'll see what that looks like. So next thing's pretty important. For your blade, may vary, your blade will. For the one I made on my other video, we used simple tinfoil, and then I used the tape and taped around it so that it's more stable, which I'm probably going to do in this one as well, just because it's quicker and easier than an actual blade or anything different. So right now I'm going to go make the other cuts, and then I'll be right back again. Alright, so I made my cuts. I don't know if you can see it. There's a small niche right here. So you wanted to get this and make a niche in the same spot so that when you put it together they line up. And that's what's gonna fire it when you pull the trigger, which we'll make in a second. But for now, gonna need to put a spring in the bottom and see how she works. And then you stick something in there. It should fire. I'm not gonna let it shoot right now. Also, another material you will need is a trigger, which I usually make out of just a paper clip. Doesn't really matter what you use, as long as you have something that can fit into the little niches like this. Alright, so with the paper clip, made it in the shape of a pin. You're going to pull it out, and that's how the ballistic knife's going to fire. If you have this rubbery stuff around it, you want to peel that off, because that kind of interferes with how it fits into the thing. You can see it's going to work like this. It's going to be in the blade, holding it. More like this, actually. Holding the blade in place. Once you can get that in there, and it holds the blade in there, and you just pull it out, and the blade should launch out to the spring. So what you want to do is you want to put your spring in there, and what works really well is if you put a little tiny piece of glue at the bottom, like just drop and then put the spring down there, or if you stick a pin through so the spring, you don't lose it. And should look something like this. See, you're gonna have the blade coming out as soon as I make that in a little bit. You're just gonna pull the clip and it'll fire. Okay, now it's time for the blade. What you're gonna do is go get some tin foil. Alright, now that you have your tin foil, you honestly don't need this much. What you're gonna do is you're gonna try and make a blade that fits kind of in here, like this. Gonna fold it, fold it, fold it, fold it, And then at the very end, you're going to want to twist it like this so that it fits in there. And then you're going to tape around it so that it doesn't come out. So that's the base of it. Right now I'm going to keep putting foil over it, make it more and more stable. This should be done in a second. Alright, so finished with the blade almost. You can see I have the part that fits in there. It's not really finished. What you need to do is take your scissors and start cutting. Make it look however you want. So I'm going to go ahead and straighten it out here, because this is very important to have a good shape for your blade, of course. If you don't have a good shape, then it looks kind of gross. Make it look kind of sharp too. You gotta love sharp. Alright, so got a general shape, as you can see, and actually trim a little bit more. Alright, and some should fall off, yeah. Now what you want to do is stick it in here. Oops. Stick it in your blade holder that you made out of the pencil, and you're gonna need to tape it up using any kind of tape really. If you use like a thicker tape, you want to trim it so it's thinner, but I use this really thin electric tape. Works great. So alright, now that I have the blade, I trimmed it down a bit, added more tape, make it stable. It's still not that stable, but the tape helps. And what you want to do is you want to take your pen holder. You see the niches where they line up right there. What you want to do is you want to stick the springs in. Make sure the springs have about the same diameter too, so that they don't get caught inside each other or anything. What you're going to do is you're going to put the blade in, stuff it down there. Once you stuff it in there, gonna put the pin in, and the pin's gonna hold it. There we go. Sorry, it took a second. And there you have it. Miniature ballistic knife. Of course, you don't have to make the pin about that big. I just like it because my thumb can fit in there. This is how it works.
Yep. Let's go, boys.
Okay. As you can see, I trimmed up my blade a little bit, made it smaller, and actually put the whole thing together. Here's the blade now. As you can see, the little pencil thing. Made it a lot smaller. I put 2 springs because works a lot better with 2 springs than just one. Go to dad. Ah, sorry, that was my dog. Put the first spring in, and the second spring. And like I said, you line up those niches, right? So you know, go ahead and shove that in there. Line up the niches. You might need to press it on something. I'm just using my chest for this. Take your pin that you got, stuff it between the niches, and there you have it. You have a ballistic knife. It's not really a knife, actually. It's just a ballistic toy, I guess. Come here and I'll show you how to use it. Or how it works. I'm sure you guys know how to use it. What you do is you just pull your thumb out of the thing and then it flies. Pretty powerful one. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you comment and subscribe.